Hello, beauties, and welcome to Tenell Talks episode 2, Tried and Tired, Dealing with Burnout. You guys, I am so sorry that I'm late. I know I told you guys it's 7 o'clock, so I'm an hour late, so my bad. I had to go do an estimate, so I do apologize for that. But I'm going to wait till people start coming in, but I just want to do an introduction because I do save these lives. Hey! How you doing, TT? Hey, Derek. This y'all first time to Tenell Talks? I'm doing good. Well, thanks for joining me. This your first time. I'm just trying to type in the title right quick while I wait for other people to come in. They might not come in because I'm extremely late. All right, so I'm not going to be on here all night. So while I got you guys in here, I went to my account. Anyway, so I got you guys in here. I'm going to do a little bit of introduction. My name is Tenell. I go by the Beautiful Bargainista. Here on Tenell Talks, we talk about issues and topics that everyday people may go through, especially in their 40s, dealing from kids, life, pretty much adulting, careers, anything you could think about, health-wise, mental-wise. So on Tenell Talks episode 1, we talked about changing careers, and and we had a special guest, Lejeune Marie, and we just talked about changing careers, how to deal with it, your expectations of it, tackling fear, things of that nature. That is saved on my IGTV. So if you haven't watched that, make sure you go and watch that. But on today's topic, we're going to be talking about tried and tired, dealing with burnout. And this is something that I recently just went through and currently going through. So I want to go ahead and talk about it. I want to get it done last Wednesday at the end of October, because October was Mental Health Month. But because I'm still going through this, I still want to talk about it. That means we're going to have 2 Tenell Talks in the month of November. And I'll also be resharing it just in case you guys missed this live or you want to rewatch it. What else? And it'll also be reshared on my YouTube channel. So if you follow me on my YouTube channel, I will It'll be up there. Okay, so yeah, it will be up there on my YouTube channel as well. Let's see, if you have any questions during this live, go ahead and hit the questions button, type in your questions, and I'll answer your questions at the end of this episode. What else I can say? Well, that's pretty much it. Let's dive into the topic of burnout. Okay, so today's topic is burnout, dealing with burnout, and what is burnout? Burnout is a form of exhaustion from constantly feeling swamped. Like we as women, especially women, sorry, Derek, but this is for my ladies, especially as women, we try to do everything. We try to do too much all the time without seeking help, or just feel like we can do it all the time, and that can create burnout. But burnout is a form of exhaustion caused by constantly feeling swamped. It is the result of excessive and prolonged emotional, physical, and mental stress. So when you try to do everything and you think you're not getting done, that's just building anxiety and stress on our life, and something that can lead to burnout. Burnout happens when we are overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to keep up with our life demands. We set to-do lists for ourselves every day. We do take care of the kids, do housework, work, have a side hustle. These are all duties that we feel that we have to accomplish on a daily basis. And if we're not seeking help, or we try to put too much on ourselves and mentally stress ourselves out, then we physically stress ourselves out, and then we emotionally stress ourselves out because we do not talk about it. We just put our head down and try to deal with it and push forward. But this leads to burnout. Okay, so like I told you guys in the beginning, I have dealt with this before. Well, I'm currently dealing with this before. At the end of October, I experienced major burnout. Let's say it was like the middle end of October. I was on a roll in October. Like my content was popping. I was planning. I had my content creation days. I was editing. Then we got busy at work with painting. That's dealing with kids issues, relationship issues, marriage issues, financial issues, dealing with working with two businesses, and it just was just piling down on me. And I was dealing with anxiety, and just got so overwhelmed that I had to leave. I had to take a break. If you guys noticed, I was in my MIA for a week or so. I left and went to go visit my parents, and I spent time with them to just reflect, relax. It just set ground rules and boundaries for myself, because when I tell you, I just felt like the walls caving in on me, like I couldn't breathe, like I was just doing too much and then not doing enough. Or felt like I wasn't doing enough. I was doing too much and felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then not expressing myself, communicating effectively, and it just, I had a breakdown. Let's just say that. I had a mental, physically, and emotionally breakdown. Like I just had to get away. How I felt that I didn't have enough time in the day. What I was accomplishing the day wasn't good enough. I was doing too much. I was handling two businesses, dealing with medical issues, myself, my spouse, kids. trying to prepare for taxes, trying to stay up on the social media games, trying to stay up on feeling good or looking good, trying to just do it all. And that led to me having anxiety. Like, I know, remember I kept telling you guys, if you follow my stories, that I kept having trash sleep. Like, when I tell you, like, I wasn't sleeping at all, I wake up probably 2 a.m., probably won't go back to sleep at 5, and then get back up around 7 o'clock. Like, that's not enough sleep. It was just too much. So I know that was anxiety and stress. I stopped doing my morning routine, which that led to more stress, because that was my time to reflect, my time to release my mind and to motivate myself. And I had stopped doing that, which I should have had. And then it kind of left me depressed and angry and everything sad. It just left me all those emotions, and it was leading to depression. I've kind of felt it, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't a deep depression, but nevertheless, it was depression that I was dealing with, and still is dealing with, because I had to push myself to come on here tonight. I had to push myself this afternoon to do something. Then I finally just told myself, just lay down. Just lay down, go to sleep. But I am finding myself sleeping more often. I don't know, because I'm still tired and recuperating, or is it still part of my depression that I was in? Okay, let's talk about what happens and the effects of burnout. So like I said, this is not a medically diagnosed condition, but it is something that happens to a lot of us. A lot of times people will say that they are taking breaks, especially here if you're on the social media game and you're an influencer, or if you are a business owner, or you are changing careers or whatever. It may be, you can experience burnout. Dealing with your kids as a mom, you can experience burnout. Dealing with, your spouse or whatever. These all things that can lead to burnout. Like I said, it's not a medical diagnosed condition, but it's something that can happen. It affects us mentally and physically and emotionally. Dealing with burnout. Hey, thank you. It keeps us from being productive. Like I said, depression and anxiety comes into play with dealing with burnout. It feels like we're not getting enough done, so we get down on ourselves. So it just feels like it keeps us from being productive, because our mind is always going, figuring, trying to go to the next thing instead of focusing on what we need to do. Your energy is reduced. I know, like I said, for being a creative here on Instagram or whatever you're doing, if you're creative, it takes your creativity level all the way down. Like, you're not in the mood. And I know for me, like, if I'm not in the mood, I can't create. I can't record a YouTube video. I can't, take nice photos or edit or whatever. If I'm not in a creative state of mind, I just can't do it. Same thing with my hair. If I'm not in the mood to do my hair, my style's gonna come out like trash or whatever. My makeup gonna come out trash. Even with my cooking, if I don't feel like cooking, it's not gonna be nasty, but it's not gonna probably be like, girl, you put your foot down in that. That's not gonna be that. And then also make us feel hopeless and resentful. And I know I felt, these were the two that I felt last month. I felt hopeless and I resentful. I was resentful towards everybody, like mainly my husband. I felt resentful to him because, as men, I don't want to show my emotions either. Me as a Cancer, like, I hold everything in, but I just felt like he could be doing more. Like, I need a little bit more help. I felt like I wasn't being supported by not just him, but my parents, my friends, whatever. It just feels like sometimes you're not being supported, but that's the signs of being burnout, because you feel like you're not doing enough when you're doing the most, and you're not focusing on what you actually are doing and what you actually have accomplished. So sometimes we just need to stop and stay in the present and focus on what we are doing and give our own self a credit, a slap on the back, take time out for ourselves. And we don't have to do it all in 24 hours, or we're not even up 24 hours on this 24 hours in a day. Most of us are up 12 to 14 hours of the day, something like that. So we cannot do everything at once in a day. It's not going to happen. And a lot of times that's what happens. We try to do everything in a day and then push forward the next day to continue what we did do, instead of giving ourselves grace, instead of saying, you know what, I did do something today. I did do good. Kudos to you, self. We don't do that. Okay. Reasons for burnout. And I've been talking about this. We do too damn much. That's the reason for burnout. Us as women, especially Black women, we just do too much. When we try to do it all, and I know a lot of us don't like to accept help, or we feel like it's not going to get done like the way we want it to get done, and we just push ourselves to just keep going. That's just, I don't know if that's society and mentally embedded in us to act that way, to feel like, we don't need help. I don't know if it's the Black independent thing that happens, but that's what happens with us. We try to do too much. We have unmanageable workloads or schedules that we try to deal with. Like I said, we try to do everything in one day. I know I'll make a to-do list, and sometimes it'd be 10 things. Like, sis, come on, like, when are you gonna have time to relax? When are you gonna have time to eat? You gotta cook, you gotta do it, but you don't factor all that into your to-do list. And like I said, sometimes you have to give yourself credit. And if you get, you woke up, you took care of your kids, you did your job, that's enough within itself. I got 3 bins of laundry in front of me that needs to be folded, and it's been sitting there for over a week, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's going to get to it when it get to it. And before, I was stressing the hell out of myself trying to get shit done, and it's like, girl, you can't do it all. Sometimes it's unfair treatment at work, or even unfair treatment of ourselves. Like I said, we don't give ourselves grace. Or if it's at work, you're not getting the applause that you should do, or you're doing great or whatever, and it's feel like you are being unfair, or they are actually being unfair to you, and they're just constantly throwing stuff at you. That can be a sign of burnout, or reasons for burnout. Confusing your work responsibilities. Like I said, we try to do it all. Whether you out there in the workforce or you're creative, sometimes you have to delegate to other works. Like even here as an influencer, when I made my my website, I hired out for that to do it. I could have took the time out to do it, and I started off and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to invest in myself and my business and have somebody professionally do it. It's just certain things. I know some influencers hire out to edit their videos. Some must do it. Like I don't think I would ever have someone edit. I don't know. I take that back. Someone will edit if I can find somebody like the same vibe and I can feel their energy when it comes to the editing, what I'm looking for. That would be something definitely I would hire out for when I start making a little more coins. That was going to be the first thing I do. Some people hire writers for their blogs. It all depends. You have to learn how to delegate. I know eventually I am going to hire somebody to come in at least once or twice a month to clean up, or maybe once a week to clean up, depending on what the cost is. I'm definitely going to be looking into that. It's just confusing our work responsibilities, and sometimes our work responsibility intertwine into our home responsibilities. And like I said, being a creative and working for home, those are working at home, those lines can get blurred real quick. If you're working with your spouse, those lines can get blurred real quick. Like, it has to be what's the word? Your work responsibilities has to be stated in bold. Lack of communication and support. Like I said, I know this is me. Like I said, I'm Cancer. I hold on to everything, and when I am feel that I explode, I don't communicate along the way, which I have in the past. I remember speaking to my husband last year, and I was like, I need help. Like, I cannot do it all. We need to separate these household duties. We need to do something, and it went out in one ear and out the other. And this last month, it just was overflow. Like, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't deal with it anymore. So if I would have communicated that a little more and often, and sometimes you have to tell yourself that as well. You doing too much. Sit your ass down, girl. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself like that. Communication. And then, like I said, having support. Not doing it all. You know, your girlfriends, you know, maybe they can help you out. Your parents, your kids, you know, all these can take into play of support that you need to do to get done and not experience burnout. And then lastly is the reason of burnout. It's like I said, once again, trying to do it all. We try to be superwoman, and we're not super women. I mean, we are, but we don't have to act that way, portray that way all the time. A lot of times, you know, we just need to relax and focus on just being a woman sometimes. Okay, types of burnout that I experienced a combination. It's 3 types of burnout, and I have experienced a combination of 3, but the number one that I had experienced was overload burnout, and that's working harder and harder and harder, and just putting more tasks and more responsibilities on yourself. It is November, and I'm so glad that people came up with the concept. Maybe we should talk about that in the next live, saying no in November and beyond, because sometimes we just need to learn to say no, not just to others, but to ourselves. Like, girl, no, don't do it. No, you don't need to go out. No, you don't need that. No, you don't need to do no more today. Go take a bath, relax, do something fun. But yeah, overload is just trying to work harder and harder. Like I said, I'll get up in the mornings, go paint. In between painting and stuff, like on my breaks and stuff, we posting, trying to do social media, answer, emails as far as business as our house is concerned, dealing with attorneys on that, dealing with our CPA for our business, and it was just, everything was just put at me at once, and a lot of it was me with poor planning, but I also didn't have any help. So a lot of times I would start, do one, finish something, but then it was something else that the attorneys needed. Then now I have to do this. So I'm trying to, this entrepreneur thing and business owner is new to both of us. As far as KD Painting Services, like we're official with the LLC and stuff. So I had a CPA, and we're late on those things with filing and stuff. So trying to deal with the penalties and stuff. So that added on to my stress. The stress of we're trying to purchase our mother-in-law's house. So all of that stress plus the work and painting, it's easy, but it's also physical on you. So a lot of times you're tired, and then me trying to push through and get content out for the Beautiful Bargainista and my brand. So I keep building the community and not stepping off, because I do want this to be a revenue stream for us, and I feel like I can do that on here. I had to tell myself that to stop being so stressful about the numbers and having to post every day and post it on the weekend. So I did give myself grace for that, but it was just every time I remove something, I'll add 2 more things on as my title, and it was just too much. So I know I experienced overload burnout. That is one type of burnout that you can experience. The number 2 burnout is neglect burnout. You feel helpless, feels like you are not good enough, you doubt your skills, and you have imposter syndrome. And I know I have experienced this. I felt helpless, like I said, like I wasn't getting enough help, that I wasn't doing enough. I'm not good enough to do this influencer thing. I feel like I'm being an imposter. As far as being a business owner, all those things led to my burnout. So those are the two that definitely led to me being burnout: overload burnout and neglect burnout. Number 3 is under challenge burnout, and this is if you're at a job and you're not motivated and you're under challenge, so you're just doing the daily task and it's getting mundane and repetitive, and you're not pushing yourself to your higher level, like you have elevated from that, but you're still here. But physically and mentally, you might be up here, and that creates under challenge burnout. And I normally experience this type of burnout when I have the other two. Like I said, as a creative, if you're stressed out and you have anxiety, then you will feel unmotivated because your mind is not into it. So your creativity cannot be at full mean. But that, I know that's for me, speaking from experience. Like if I'm tired, I'm not going to be able to focus, be creative, especially when it comes to recording and edit videos. Those are the two things I can put on the outfit and take pictures and stuff like that. But when it came to being creative and thinking of concepts of what to record or what to talk about, no, it ain't going to happen. Okay, so how do we deal with burnout? Dealing with burnout, first of all, give yourself grace. I talked about this earlier in the live on this episode. And what was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, Maddie Jane had posted on her feed. Well, she talked about it in her stories, but then she made it a point to put it on her feed, and that was that she felt it was just 11 o'clock, and now it's in the afternoon, and it felt like she didn't get anything done, but she really actually did get a lot of stuff done, and she had to give herself grace. She cut off that time period. She was about to have dinner with herself, but she came on and was like, so what if you didn't finish everything on your task, on your to-do list today? So what? What did you do? Whatever you did, it was enough. Sometimes today just was enough. If you didn't do anything, you napped all day, that was enough. Because sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes your body will shut you down and tell you to go lay your ass down. Okay, so we have to give ourselves grace. Number 2, get enough sleep. Cut the work period off, sis. Like I said, a lot of us have side hustles. We have full-time jobs and side hustles. Trust me, I've been there and I'm still doing it. It's just I'm an entrepreneur on both of them, but Katie Payton is pretty much like my full job. Yes, I can dictate my schedule, but if we have back-to-back customers, which we have been doing, we just slowed down. Like we're looking for work, but before it was just like back, finish one job, on to the next. Like we had a month and a half of that, and that was led to my burnout at the end of October, because that's when it finally slowed down at the end of October. And it was just like, and we still had jobs to do, but it was minor jobs. I was like, let Kendrick handle it. I'm out of here, And then it was other stress and life factors that was going on top of that, but I had to bounce. So make sure you get in enough sleep. Cut the work day off. You can only do so much. Put down your cell phones at night. I did turn on my bedtime mode on my phone. I have a Samsung phone, and at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 5:30, it shuts off. The screen goes black. I don't think I get any notifications or anything like that, so it's go black and white. So if I do try to look at my phone, it's not a color, so it's not motivating to look at it. So little things like that. Setting up a schedule for bedtime and a cutoff time for your work and your side hustle. Because like I said, I know a lot of us, go to our 9 to 5s, then come home and then do our 5 to 10s for our side hustles and content creation. Sometimes you have to learn to shut it off and be in the bed with our laptops and our cell phones. Shut it off, get you enough sleep so you won't experience burnout. Number 3, talk to someone if it's at your job and you're experiencing burnout, your supervisor, your boss, whoever is above you, maybe your coworker. You guys can talk about, hey, my workload is getting heavy. I can't do it. For me, it was with my husband. After I told him about my burnout, I'm like, look, I need an administrative day. I need a day off of painting. We had already set those limitations up a couple of years ago with that we don't work any weekends. We only work Monday through Friday. And that's from most of the time 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. But like I said, we dictate our schedule. It all depends on what the job is. Sometimes we leave earlier. Sometimes we stay later just to get it done. But typically we work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I told him no weekends. Now, recently I communicated with him. I need administrative days to handle this business stuff. If I'm going to be HR and dealing with most of this business stuff, I need my days off so I can keep up with receipts. I can deal with, insurance stuff, all of that, deal with the bills. I need a day off. To talking to someone with, like I said, your supervisor, your coworkers. Sometimes they be your coworkers, and I know this from experience. Like, hey, I'm not here to do my job and your job. You got to pitch in. And a lot of companies be like, oh, it's a team, but you find out you doing more work than the other MFers in there, you be upset, and sometimes you don't want to verbalize it because you don't, us as black people or black women, we don't want to seem like the angry black women, especially if it's a corporate job or you're the only minority there. You don't want to come off as the troublemaker. But a lot of times, and I learned at an early age that I didn't play that, in my 20s, I was in the corporate world. I was doing social services. And I learned from my mom, saying, don't take that stuff off of people, or write it down, write your grievance down, and communicate effectively. Make sure you have the date and stuff so they have a boss, they have to go to human resource or whatever, you have your documentation. And just, communicate those things. Also dealing with burnout, like I said, talk to someone or get some support. That goes hand in hand. Hey, I need you to do XYZ. I can't do XYZ. Delegate tasks to others. Number 4 is do a relaxing activity. For me, it was the meditating. Like I said, my morning routine was to get up. First thing I do was drink some water. I will go meditate. After meditation, I pray because my mind was more open and clear. So those was a lineup. So sometimes I was praying first, but then my mind was still all over the place, thinking about what I had to do for the day. But when I switched it over to meditating first and clearing my mind of all my thoughts and being grateful for just being in the moment, I was able to be open, and my mind was open up to listen to God clearly in the morning when I did my morning prayer. And then I will journal, write down my feelings, my thoughts, what I was grateful for, things of that nature, what was on my mind. I would just write it down. And when I got out of that routine, it didn't happen right away, but 7 months down the line, I'm here dealing with burnout. So do a relaxing activity. I would suggest meditation. If whatever relaxes you and keeps your mind clear, do that activity, a mindful relaxing activity. What else? Find support. This can be your spouse, your kids, your girlfriends, friends, family. Find support, somebody that understands you, that can also give a helping hand, that's not adding on to the stress, that you can be comfortable with delegating duties. Like I said, sometimes you might have to hire out to do tasks, but whatever's taking the load off of you. Sometimes paying the price is way more better than actual doing the duty. You have to know your limitations, and knowing your limitations and knowing what you can and cannot do, hire out for it, especially if you can afford it, or if it's going to save you mental stress. It's well worth the money. Okay. And what's the last one? And the last one is get moving. And I also took this out of my routine, and that's exercising, at least moving 30 minutes throughout 30 minutes a day. And because I am painting and I'm always moving, that was my excuse to, I am getting exercise in, I am moving, but I need to at least stretch in the morning, take a walk, and I also need to plan to join a gym, something that, because when you exercise, it releases those endorphins, it relaxes you, it does give you more energy, it does have you more focused. So physically exercising at least 30 minutes a day does really help. And I have to get out the mindset that, oh, I'm painting and I'm working and I'm climbing and I'm up and down, that's exercise, but I really need to set a time, a schedule to do at least 30 minutes a day. So yes, that is it on the topic of burnout. Like I said, I'm sorry that I'm late. I know a lot of you guys jumped in and out. I didn't have as many people on, and I didn't have a special guest. It was just me and you. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed just talking and give you guys my experience and my feelings about burnout. I wish you guys were in here so we could have had a conversation back and forth. But make sure to put your questions and comments down below as you're watching this when I reshare it, because I would love to talk back and forth. I love our community to respond to your comment as well. So if anything resonated with you during this live and you want to talk about it more in the comment sections, add a comment down below. Like I said, because this Tenell Talk was supposed to be in October, we're going to have 2 here in November. So if not next week, the following week, way before the holidays, because I know a lot of people are going to be in holiday mode, and I want you guys to join in with me. And I think we're going to talk about November to piggyback on burnout. What are we saying no to in November? And this will help us deal with burnouts, release some of the load on ourselves, giving ourselves grace period, not feeling, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, what is the word I'm looking for? When you tell somebody no, you feel bad. Not feeling sorry when you say no. I can't even think of the word, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not feeling sorry when you say no, and not feeling bad when you say no. It's all right to say no, because we're gonna talk about that. I think that's what we're gonna talk about. If you guys agree with that and y'all do want to talk about that, put it in the comment sections down below. If we wanted to Tenell Talks number 3, no, in November and beyond, not just in November, we're going forward, learning to say no when it does not benefit you, or it's just doing too much, or whatever. We're going to talk about that. If you guys have any other suggestions about Tenell Talks, make sure to email me at thebeautifulbargainista@yahoo.com. Email your questions, or email your topic suggestions at thebeautifulbargainista.com. All right, you guys. Sorry I'm late, but at least I got to talk to you guys about what I've been going through, what I've been experiencing with burnout, why I've been MIA, and still a little bit MIA, but I'm pushing through because I set my limitations. I communicated effectively. I'm seeking out counseling now for myself and my marriage. What else? Yeah, so I'm getting back to the swing of things because I want to finish 2021 off strong. I was doing so well, and then I just crashed and burned, and I don't want you beauties to crash and burn. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I will see you guys in the next episode.